Well, welcome back to Silent Hunter 4. And after our first patrol, we took a pretty good shellacking. I went on the subnet.com, which does a lot of feedback and answering of questions on a lot of different submarine games, and asked the question, is that an issue? Because I did not expect to have time compression go on when I was being attacked, and they said that is an issue actually, and I'm not sure if it's just with real fleet boat or if it's just in the Philippine area, but they said specifically when you're leaving the Manila area and go just outside the bay, they have had some issues with not picking up contact. So I'm going to put down not only my inexperience at playing the game as to our shellacking, but also maybe a little glitch in the system. So we took some damage. We had that repaired. We came back to port. We had several crew members who were injured. Two of them were seriously injured. They have actually recuperated quite well, much to my surprise. And we've got some Purple Hearts, I'm sure, to distribute. So after that last battle, we do have some medals to give out, and they're all Purple Hearts. And the guys that were most seriously injured will get those, and that will be Mr. Wayne gets a Purple Heart. Mr. O'Connor, who was formerly on the main deck, is now moved over to the control room because his lookout skills weren't all the greatest. And the other one to get a Purple Heart was Mr. DeGroot. So those are our three Purple Heart winners. All right, so I think I've got the crew where I wanted them. It is now December 20th. It's only 10 days since we went out on our last cruise. Let's just see what the log says. Departure from base. Patrol ended basically 9 days later after we got shellacked. So,
welcome back, while we still hold the base here, that is. It seems that the Japanese don't waste any time. They've taken Hong Kong, landed on the Thai coast and also on Malaya, where they've pushed the British south towards Singapore. Our allies deployed their battleship force to counter the landings, but it was promptly sunk by Jap bombers based in Indochina. Thus, the Japs have gained control of all air and sea lanes in the South China Sea. Obviously, the next target will be Singapore, and there's little hope to hold them back from taking the city. The Philippines were attacked with multiple landings on the north and south parts of Luzon, forcing the mixed U.S. local defenses to abandon Manila, including our submarine base there, and retreat into the Bataan Peninsula. For the moment, our troops are holding back the Japanese, but we don't know for how long they can continue and what the supply situation is. It has been suggested that submarines be used to supply the troops and evacuate key personnel from the region. So please, make all preparations pending your orders.
and here's our operation order. So that is over here. That should be a pretty good hot spot. Remember, this is where all the natural resources are that the Japanese are trying to bring back to their mainland. And we are up here in Manila, so we're going to head south, and let's go ahead and get going.
Ship spotted. Bearing 4. Medium range.
It is now late at night,
Ship
as you can
spotted.
see. In fact,
Bearing
it's absolutely midnight.
1, 8. Yes, sir. 9.
But let's
Medium
go ahead.
range. Slow. Ship spotted. Bearing 1, 9.
2/3
Short
and
range.
come out of port here.
Ship spotted.
We could go through here. That's by Mindanao. That should be okay. So let's head that way. Again, trying to stay in deep water in case we get attacked. Okay, so there's our route. Let's go back on the bridge. We'll speed up time. Well, I wanted to give you guys an update. We've been at sea now for about 9 hours since leaving Manila Bay. We practiced diving the ship a couple times. Nothing to report so far. Crew's a little bit nervous. Again, this is just our second patrol after getting our butts kicked the first time. We are just now rounding this island out here, which is right in the area that we got into an engagement the last time out. So here's another update. We have been at sea now for a couple days. It is now December 25th. Merry Christmas! The waiting hours of Christmas here on the boat. We are now approaching a fairly narrow passage on our way to our patrol zone. Not sure what the name of this little strait is, but you can see it's rather narrow. Pretty uneventful tour so far, but again, that's the island to the north of us, and pretty soon we'll be running the gap, and I'll be back with any updates as they come. Okay, a little bit of excitement here. We just are now entering our patrol zone, and we've got our first ship sighting. It's bearing 318 long range, so we're driving to periscope depth, and we're going to take a look.
Current depth 40.
Nothing's showing up on sonar. It said bearing 318, so that'll be off in this direction, right here. Look very carefully. And I do not see anything out there. Let's go back to sonar, see if we can pick anything up over there. Well, once again, coming up empty here. Nothing on sonar, nothing on periscope. So we'll go back up to the surface and continue our search in the patrol zone. So a little bit more excitement here. Haven't seen anything, but we did get a notice somehow of something on the map. It wasn't announced on a radio message. So it did say the island of Hong Kong surrendered to the Imperial Japanese today. By the way, Merry Christmas. So that was on Christmas. That was a couple days ago. No radio messages since then. And then all of a sudden, this contact right here pops up. So we turned our boat immediately in that direction. It has not been updated. We're too far away to get a radar contact. Plus, we're on the surface. On the surface, I don't think we get radar contacts. It's some 44 miles away from where it was first spotted. And that's too far away for visual contact. So I'm not sure how that mark got there. But anyways, we're going to head that direction, see if we can turn something up. And everybody's on pins and needles. We're anxious for our first action. And I'll be back with you when there's more updates. So as you can see, the sky's kind of murky. Seas are not too bad, but we're going to take her down to periscope depth and just see if we can't pick something up on sonar that we're not picking up here on the surface. We're still pointing directly toward the last known contact, and I don't know exactly how that contact got there, like I mentioned before, but we're going to take it down. We're going to go to the sonar room and take a look and see what we can see. And I generally just tell the sonar operator to make normal sweeps and report any contacts. I'm not sure how good our guys are, but we'll find out. Once we get down to periscope depth, we're going to have a listen.
Current depth 40.
So now that we're sonar depth or periscope depth, we're going to spin the hydrophone around, see if we can listen, pick anything up. And nothing so far. So we're going to take her back up to the surface and continue on at a little bit higher speed.
Yes, sir.
Surface, surface, surface.
To me, this looks like good hunting weather, kind of poor visibility, so our profile's going to be much harder to see than theirs. You can hear the thunder in the background, so it's a stormy day here in the Pacific as we're out on our patrol. So I'll be back with some updates as they come available. Well, I took the liberty of extending my patrol outside of a 50-mile radius from our designated area. There was a task force reported right up here, which is way out of our zone. But while patrolling just now, we got this contact right here. So I'm not sure what that is, but we're going to head over in that direction and perhaps take a look at it. We're going to head over here because if they're going this way, I have a feeling they're going to go through the gap here and we will not be able to follow them. If they're coming this way, maybe we'll be able to see something. So we'll take a gander. Once again, I'm not sure how that contact popped up because that's well out of our visual range. In fact, to the next navigation point right here, that's 61 miles. There's no way we're going to be able to see that target. So now we've reached that point. I'm going to slow us back down. We're going to drop down to periscope depth again.
Periscope depth. Yes, sir.
We're going to go back to the sonar room. We'll tell our guy to keep searching, report contacts, but in the meantime, I'm going to take over manually.
Current depth 40.
Ooh, we have something. It's bearing 060. So let's go back to the map. We didn't hear it, but let's go back to the surface.
Surface the boat. Yes, sir.
So we can travel a little bit faster.
Surface.
Let's have a look around. So I don't see anything right now. We're going to accelerate time and head off in that direction, and let's see what we can see.